I want to take a look at how to use combination visuals in a pivot table. So that's what we're going to do in this video. I'm Richard, and this is stuff we can do in Excel. So this is a bunch of data we've looked at before. This was just so you have a look at it, we had quarterly data from 2016 to 2022, sales, cost of goods sold, gross margin, and gross margin percentage. I created a pivot table, and if you've been following my videos, you've seen this before. So what if we wanted to do something a little different? So we looked in another video at how to add a trend line to each one of these two data series, so I've now added the data labels, but what I want to do is I wanted to add a gross margin percentage to this. Well, these are all in dollars, right? Gross margin is in percentage. So if I add that to the graph, what am I going to get? Well, first of all, it's not going to show up because it's pretty small. And second, it's a sum. I don't want a sum. So the first thing I've got to do is I'm going to change this. So I'm going to click on the down arrow. I'm going to go to value field settings. I'm going to change that to average, right? So it changes it to that. I'm going to now go format as a percentage. And so that's now formatted as a percentage for me. But it's still not showing up. One thing, that's because these are dollars on the y-axis and this is years on the x-axis. But I want to show this percentage. I'm going to show it as a line superimposed over these bars. So how do I do that? Well, I'm going to change my chart type. This is, of course, what we called a clustered chart, right? Clustered bar chart. I'm going to right-click in anywhere in my zone, and I'm going to go down and click Change Chart Type. I'm going to choose this thing down at the bottom called a combo chart. Combo chart is going to add a line for me, and when I choose that, it gives me some options. So it says my green is my sales, my orange is my cost of goods sold, the gray is going to be average of gross margin. We can change that color later if we want to. I want that to be a line. These are clustered columns. This is going to be a line. Okay, and because these are in dollars and years and not percentages, I'm going to add a secondary axis. So I'm going to add a secondary axis to this, and I'm going to click right there for secondary axis. And now when I click on this, say OK, I've got a new chart. So for the green and the orange, that's going to be on the terms of dollars. For my gross margin percentage, that is a percentage, and I could do the data labels on that if I wish. It's got the percentage data labels in there. And I can lift those up a little bit. Let's see if we lift them all up. Yeah, I have to lift them up one at a time. But I can lift up my percentages off these lines, and you can see them on these lines. But what's interesting is we can see by doing this kind of a chart that while revenues are generally sort of increasing, they're doing pretty well, over time, my gross margin percentage is going down. Okay, that's a problem. I've got to get that gross margin percentage back up. It used to be at almost 70%, and now it's down at 41%. Even though my sales for the most recent period were the third best sales over the 7-year period, my gross margin is really low. So I've got to get that gross margin percentage up if I want to continue to be profitable. And that's what this line shows me here. It allows me to see the trend of the gross margin percentage superimposed over my bar chart for my sales and my cost of goods sold.